Everybody. I am the real Gina B. Date with a Plate. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe. I have a very funny and bizarre and weird story for you all today. I'm on here every night, so I want y'all to come on in, listen to the stories. It's another crime story about fast food. People are just weird. And it's funny because I can relate to this story because I used to be in a certain position where, in many positions, there were a certain class of people or population that would call the police for everybody, for everything. They would go to the emergency room for everything. If their finger hurt, they would go to the emergency room. And we all know you go to the emergency room for emergencies. Reason being, because if you actually have to pay for going to the emergency room can charge you up. Um, Somebody that I know got an emergency bill that was $3,400, and they really didn't even do nothing. I think they were just kind of pissed that they came to the emergency room. Like, yeah, you came to the emergency room. It was late at night. We didn't feel like even doing anything for you. We're gonna give you this large bill so you never come back again. Ridiculous. So anyway, then I had this population, they called the police for everything. I remember one time, and so this correlates with the story I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm just kind of bringing in stuff so people can come on in because I need people to come on in here because this is a good one. So anyway, this population of people will call the police just about anything. I remember this one gentleman called the police because he thought somebody had stole his lunch. He did. He called the police and they were like, they understood who he kind of like his disability and things, and so they were very lenient with him and all of that. But there was this one who would do it all the time, and so they would tell him like, hey, if you call the police again, like, we're gonna have to charge you. But this story, y'all, is so bizarre, it is insane, that I had to get on here and talk about it because I know for certain that there are people out there that does this. I remember I had another person that called the police because they had ran out of tissue. Yep. On the toilet, had their phone, realized they ain't had no tissue, and yes, they called the police. Sure did. So anyway, it correlates with. Let me turn this up. Make sure. Okay, good. Because last time I was online and I didn't have no volume, so I'm hoping that that was up. Oh, okay. So anyway, let me get into the story because this was so bizarre. So I kind of did the segue of telling you all that calling the police, you have to call them for things that the police can do, right? So I did not know that people who go to fast food restaurants actually call the police. There are some people who go to restaurants and they call the police. So I was able to hear some of the little 911 calls, and people are like, "Yeah, I'm calling the police because they didn't put all the burgers in my bag," or "I'm calling the police because they forgot my drink." People literally, y'all, people got to be insane. Like, there is no reasonable explanation. When you were a kid, you learned very early. I mean, we learned probably in like third, fourth grade what the police was about, why we called them. It had to be an emergency. I'm baffled. And these are adult people, these are not like little kids. These are people that are grown adults and they are calling the police on fast food restaurants, not because they're being robbed, because their burgers are cold, or they didn't put lettuce on their burger, or they are missing food out of their package. Like, I'm yeah. So anyway, this story is crazy. So going back, the reason why I'm talking about 911 phone calls or cop phone calls is because there was a customer that went to a McDonald's, and I guess it was kind of busy or whatever, and he went and ordered his food, and he lost his receipt or didn't have his receipt, one of the two. And so he goes back in and he's like waiting, kind of just sitting around. And then all of a sudden he's like, okay, I've been waiting around a little much. What is going on? So he goes up to the register and he's like, hey, I need my food because I've been sitting here for a minute. And they're like, well, basically, yeah, here it is. Like, we've been called you. And he didn't know his receipt number, so he didn't hear that they had called his receipt. So his food had been sitting up there, I guess, for a little while because he didn't hear that they called him to come and get his food. So he gets his food and he starts to eat, or he feels his food, and he's like, hey, I need a fresh thing of fries because my fries are cold. And they're like, well, actually, your fries aren't cold. They're pretty hot. And he's like, no, I want a new fry. I don't know exactly why they were arguing with him over fries. Maybe because they were so busy they just didn't want to do it, and they kind of felt like, well, we've been called your name, this your fault that you didn't come and get your food. But the manager was like, okay, well, let's just give you a refund, because he started cussing and things like that. The manager got a little bit uncomfortable, and he was like, okay. The dude said, no, I don't want a refund. Matter of fact, I want a refund and I want my food. So that's what y'all can do for me. And the manager was like, you know what, actually, we just gonna give you a refund and you can go. The man got upset. I think they made him go. He didn't want the refund, so he calls the police. Okay, yes, he called the police on a fast food restaurant, and he's like, yeah, he's giving a statement and stuff outside of the establishment, and then they go inside of the store and talk to the coworkers and the manager. The manager drops a dime, y'all. He says, hey, I don't, after this, I don't even want him back in here. He was being irate. He was this and that. I didn't think his food was cold. His food actually seemed piping hot to me. I offered him a refund. He wouldn't take it. So now I'm going to trespass him, he can never come back. So he said, as a matter of fact, he's being irate, and it looks like he has a what's the monitors on the ankle? I had one, so I wanted my talk as a teen. Yeah, um, ankle bracelets. The home. I forgot what they're called, but the monitors that they give you at court. And I'll think of it here shortly. But he had one of those on his ankle, and an ankle monitor, I guess you would say, for court. And the manager drops a dime on this guy. So the cop goes back outside and he's talking to the guy, and the guy is like, well, I don't really live around here and it's okay. And he's like, well, I need you to sign a waiver saying that you're going to do this. And then so he goes and he gets the waiver, and the cop just kind of thinks like, you know what, he did just drop a dime on him. Let me see if this guy is like in our system. Let me just see. Well, come to find out, the guy who called the cops on McDonald's because his fries were cold, he has an active warrant out for his arrest. Now, the warrant is not just any type of warrant. This man could have been an accomplice of a murder. So he missed a court date, and now they have a warrant out for his arrest. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And so then he goes back, and the police goes back after he got the information, and he's trying to play it cool because he doesn't know, how this guy's going to react, knowing that he has an active warrant. He's the only cop out there. So he calls for backup, but then he goes back out and he's playing it cool, and he's like, hey, I need you to sign this. Are you going to go ahead and sign it? He's like, yeah. So all the rest of these cops are coming up. There's one cop that comes up, then there's another cop that comes up, and he's starting to get paranoid. The guy who called about his fries being cold, he starts to get paranoid because these cops are coming up, and he starts backing up. And so the cop was like, why don't you come over here? And he was like, no, like I've done 3 years in prison. Like, I'm afraid of y'all. And so the cop is like, nah, come over here. So the guy started getting suspicious. He knew something was wrong. And he takes off running in flip-flops. And they're not flip-flops. There's the slides that have the like the little thing, the bar slides, just sliding your foot So he takes off running there. He actually had kind of got away because he was trying to break into like an apartment complex. He was running like he had a lead on these cops because one of the cops actually fell on the ground. I mean, all kind of stuff. So finally they catch up with him, and then they were like, they had to tase him because he was running so fast and he was outrunning them. They tase him to the ground. They end up arresting him. Come to find out, not only did he have a warrant out for his arrest, homeboy had weed in the car as well, a decent amount too. So he's going to get charged for that. He's going to get charged for other things like insane. How dare you call about your fries being cold at a McDonald's? Your French fries? And you don't know that you have an active warrant, and you end up, hey, how are you doing, thank you for getting on, and you end up getting arrested. You end up getting arrested. Yes, he did, for 2 counts of something. So yeah, that is a crazy story to me. Crime fast food stories have been hilarious. I'm probably going to do a few more of these, and then we're going to hop back into either a series that I had earlier on, or we'll try to do something else. But yeah, don't call the police at a fast food restaurant and complain about something and then you have an active warrant, because he went to jail. He straight went to jail. So all right, I am Regina, the real Gina B, Date with the Plate. I'll be back on here tomorrow. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow.